Alright, I'm going to show you how to measure a 9 by 9 inch piece of cardboard. And look, it can be any kind of cardboard. This looks like it was a cereal box, a box of cereal boxes. So all you need to do it is any kind of cardboard. This is like the back of a watercolor block, a pad of watercolor paper. That I just showed you was, a cereal box. This right here might be part of the same. Yep, it's tricks. Tricks are for kids. All right. Meanwhile, if you get a line like this in the middle of yours, don't worry about it, because you're going to need to cut 5 or 6 pieces of cardboard. So don't worry about lines. You're going to paint right over it. It's not going to make a bit of difference. But I'm going to show you, the primo way to get a nice piece of cardboard first. I cut this with, on this edge, see this? I cut this with this right here, this Stanley knife, okay, which you, hopefully not you, maybe your parents, have laying around the garage. If you do have one of these, this is great. Ask before you borrow it, okay? Don't just go take your parents' tools, ask. Also, notice that really super sharp blade. You do not want to cut yourself with this. If you have a utility, like a craft project X-Acto blade, that is fine too. This is what we have in the class. I didn't send these home because A, I don't send potential pokey things home like this, and B, I don't have enough for 65 kids. So, all right, so I used this to just cut the box apart, which is why this is so crooked right here. But then I made a nice straight edge here, okay? And I did that because look at these lines. See, I was able to put my ruler on there and find a perpendicular point. Ask Mrs. Clark if you don't know what perpendicular means, because you're in high school and you really should know what that means. Of course, perpendicular means that you have a 90-degree angle there, right? All right, so I made that nice straight line. Now that I've made the nice straight line, I'm going to lay my ruler up against that edge and make sure it's flush. And I'm putting my finger there to make sure it feels flush, all right? Now, if you have a ruler at home that is, where it has a little space before the 1 inch starts, make sure you line up the beginning of your inch with that the edge of your cardboard, okay? But these rulers that we have at school, which I also did not send home with you because I don't have enough for 65 people, they start right at the end. But make sure you understand what you're doing before you put it right at the end. You might be making it 1 1/8 inches, and you don't want it that way. So then I'm going to count. I don't have to count. I'm just going to go up here to the 9-inch mark and make my mark. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do the same thing. So I am just lining this up. Okay. And I'm feeling that edge to make sure it's flush. I'm going to make a 9-inch mark. Now this is the part that it seems like we always have trouble with in class. I'm going to lay my ruler down. Okay. And I'm going to line up the edge of my ruler on those dots. In fact, I'm going to get a little closer here so you can see better what I'm doing. All right. See my dots? See my dots? Here's one. Here's one. Okay. And now I'm going to lay my ruler right up against those two. Now this is what I see happen a lot in my class, where you go, oh yeah, that's all lined up, and then you do something like that. You know how that happens? That happens because you do not press hard enough on the ruler. So before you start drawing your line, you're going to get it all nice and lined up. There, I'm lined up, and look at how hard I'm pressing on this ruler. I'm pressing so hard that the fingernails on my fingers are getting really, really pink. All right, and then I'm going to angle my pencil toward the ruler so I'm not drawing out here somewhere, okay? And look at that. My ruler didn't travel, and I have a nice straight line. Now, I need to cut on that line. Before you cut, look what I'm using. I'm using a cutting mat. If you don't have a cutting mat at home, put a couple of sheets of cardboard underneath what it is that you're about to cut. And I'm going to do this in a few swipes because my cardboard is actually wider than my cutting mat. So I'm going to start up here and I'm going to cut about half of this. And I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to line this up on the line and then I'm going to press really hard. And notice how my fingers are not hanging over because look what happens if I, whoops, oh no, I just took the tip of my finger off. Don't do that, okay? Make sure your fingers are well back. Press really hard and then you're going to see how I've got my razor angled towards the ruler. I'm going to just lightly make a few cuts. I'm not going to try and cut through this on one swipe. Okay, I'm just and look, I heard it not make that sound, that little burr sound, and sure enough, I've gone all the way through. Now I'm going to do it this way. Okay, now I can't make this straight because I've got a big, piece of cardboard here, and that hover cam's in the way. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put this right on the line. Make sure my fingers are out of the way. Angle toward the ruler. Make a few shallow cuts. Just do that 2 or 3 times until the cardboard just separates itself. If you try to cut through all in one swipe, you're just going to make an ugly cut, okay? Now, I have this nice straight edge here. I have this nice straight edge here. And this nice straight edge here. And actually, this one might not be so nice. See this? This looks a little crooked to me. So what am I going to do? You see these lines right here? I'm going to lay my ruler on one of those lines because I know that they are perpendicular to this. And I'm going to draw a nice straight line there. Now, the test is, can I put my ruler up in that corner and have it flush on both sides? Yes, I can, so I know that's straight. And look at this. Up here, it's like 5/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's see. 7/16. Down here, it's 3/8. So that's why I laid my ruler on these corrugation lines, one of these corrugation lines, so that I could find a nice straight thing. Now, if I try to cut this here, that's going to waggle because there's not enough cardboard underneath there to hold my rulers steady. So I'm going to do it from this side so that I can press really hard on this cardboard without my ruler moving around. Okay, so here I go again. Pressing really, really hard, angling toward the ruler, not trying to cut through in one swipe, just doing several little ones. Look at that, that just didn't want to let go. So, all right, now I have 9 inches from side to side here, 9 inches from side to side here. I just need one more. All right, so I'm going to put my ruler right there, make sure it's flush on that end. Make my mark at 9 inches. Make my mark at 9 inches. And then I'm going to draw my line. And I'm going to cut just the way I showed you those 2 previous times. Okay? Alright. Okay, so there's my cardboard. Oh no, it has a bump in it. Who cares? It really does not matter. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's bumpy. Doesn't matter even if it has. I'm going to cut one out of this one. Well, maybe I am. I think if I cut on this side, that's just about at 9 inches. But if I end up with pieces that I can use that have lines and folds in them, I'm going to use them. Okay? So again, you need one of these or one of these. Now, I have a contingency for you. If you don't have either one of those, gosh, I hate for you to ruin your brand new dollar store scissors by cutting cardboard with them. But look at this. You actually can cut cardboard with those scissors. It's not good for them. They'll get dull faster than if you don't do this, but look, you can cut with the scissors if you have to, okay? So, pencil, an X-Acto knife or a utility knife or the scissors I gave you. You need a ruler. In another video, I'm going to show you how to make a ruler at home, okay? I think you can print one right off the internet. So I'm going to show you how you can do that and make yourself a ruler if you don't have a ruler at home. You can use a measuring tape, a measuring tape. So wherever you find this, and ask your parents first before you use it. You might also find a measuring tape, which you should also ask your parents first before you use it, okay? Remember, if you don't have a nice cutting mat like this one here that we have at school, you can just put a couple of sheets of cardboard, that you find around the house underneath it, and that should keep you from cutting through the dining room table. Don't do this on your dining room table. Do this somewhere that you're not going to hurt your mother's furniture or whatever, okay? All right, that's it for how to cut a 9-inch square of cardboard. I'll be back.